Welcome back. Let's turn our attention immediately to what's been happening in Shahjahanpur in Uttar Pradesh. Indian Air Force fighter jets will land for the first time on an airstrip that's been built on the Ganga Expressway in Shahjahanpur as part of a major exercise. Rafale, Mirage as well as Jaguar aircraft will touch down during a daytime air show as well as a night landing drill with extensive preparations and traffic curbs in place. It's a 3.2-kilometer stretch of the expressway that's been developed by the UPEIDA and has been specifically reinforced for emergency landings in particular. It's a 594-kilometer greenfield expressway and it's set to connect Meerut to Prayagraj and has been designed to also support Indian Air Force aircraft during wartime or natural disasters as well. We just saw a short while ago an AN-32 basically going past that expressway as well. Let me go across to my colleague Pradeep Datta for more on this, who is in Shahjahanabad as we are now talking. Pradeep, tell us about what's happening there and when can we expect the first jet to actually land on that airstrip in Shahjahanpur?
See, Siddharth, this is going to be a very historic moment. It's going to be a very historic day here in Jalalabad area in Shahjahanpur. Very soon we'll find that Rafale jet and other fighter jets will be hovering over the sky. And if we talk about this particular area, this is just 1,000 kilometers away from Pakistan and about 1,800 kilometers away from China. And that clearly indicates that once these jets will start hovering over Jalalabad sky, that will definitely send shivers down the spine of Pakistan. Already we have seen that how slow measure that government of India has taken has made them tremble in their boots. And let me ask my video journalist to pan towards this airstrip. This is a historic airstrip. If we talk about this 3.5-kilometer airstrip on Ganga Expressway, this is very important because this has got the only night landing facility. But though there are other expressway also, but this one is the only with the night landing facility here in Uttar Pradesh. In a short while, we saw that just one AN-32 aircraft was hovering over the Jalalabad sky. AN-32 is someone that carries logistic support and it's said to be for this high altitude terrain. It's very important. But if we talk about Rafale, everybody is here to have a glimpse of Rafale because it's considered to be one of the best fighter jets that is available with India because it can move with a speed of 1.8 Mach. That means about 2,200 kilometers per hour. And not only that, it can engage with the target within 1,800 kilometer radius. That means it can easily cover Pakistan. It can easily cover the parts of China that is touching the Ladakh. So that way it's really going to be very important.
Right, Pradeep, let me just interrupt you for a moment. We have Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, retired, joining us right now, defense expert, to give us a perspective on the significance of what's happening right now. Wing Commander Bakshi, what's your take and on the importance of this particular airstrip that's been built on the Ganga Expressway?
I'll tell you, when the national air power has to be elaborated and explained, then all the aspects of aviation and all the capability of the nation in aviation is counted for. And that is what you are seeing. In case of emergency, when the landing strips have been bombed or not available, but the air power has to be projected continuously, then the help of these runways, these built on the roadways are so constructed, they are actually like the runways, straight, minimum 3 kilometer with the proper LCN strength of the road. It is there and the aircraft can land and take off from there. Now this makes becomes sort of a force multiplier because now the aircraft which are returning back from attack, if they don't find the runway available or they're short of fuel, they can land here. The air forces of the time, this started in Second World War actually. The air force of the time of the country will put their refuelers, etc., all in advance. The local government helps them, the local state government help them in accommodations, water supply, etc. There are places for ammunition, there are places built for fuel. The aircraft can be rearmed and refueled and then take off again. And the limited maintenance is also available. This will be done in a number of places of India. So this and the transport aircraft, the fighter aircraft, all can land here. Not only this, it can also help the local population in during a disaster when they have to lift people, induct medicines, lift patients, bring in supplies, etc. Then this can also help the air power not only during war, even during peace. So that is one thing, something very important. So what you're going to now watch is various fighters will come into land. They will do a roller. Roller means they'll not stop. They'll continue. They will stop also. And they use the tail shoots. Most of them will use the tail shoots. So they don't occupy a large running area and less pressure on the brakes.
So just a follow-up question to that, we did also see an AN-32 aircraft, which is primarily a transport aircraft, sir, do a flypast near the expressway as well a short while ago. Tell us about the significance of that, because you did emphasize the point about disaster management and how during times of natural calamities or otherwise, such an airstrip is of absolute importance to ensure that relief material and rehabilitation material is actually pressed into service in very quick time, and your transport aircrafts like the AN-32 will play a very critical role there.
That's right. The medium transport haul aircraft, ideal for this purpose. They can land. In fact, AN-32 can land on Kacha also. So they have this ideal aircraft for this. And not only this, during major emergencies, natural calamities, etc., this will be a great help to the state governments, and that is why state governments are also taking responsibility in adding their resources into this, so that the safety of the aircraft, if they have landed, and water supply, electric supply, etc., and also security of that area, local police, etc., they all will cooperate, and this is actually add to the efficiency of the running governments. So absolutely. I personally feel it is very good. And during even drought, bringing in extra food, seeds, water, all these things can be met. And the more of these runways we have, the more communication network can increase. I personally feel we are not looking back. We are looking ahead. And a few years back, you saw the demonstration also on the highway.
It's a very significant achievement indeed, Wing Commander Bakshi. Thank you so much for your perspective on this invaluable insights. Let me go across to Pradeep once again. Pradeep, tell us about what's happening around you in the sense of anticipation, because a lot of people are wanting to see some of these fighter aircraft, some of India's most significant acquisitions, land on that airstrip.
Yes, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of excitement, and we have seen that many school children have also come out to this place. And everybody here wants to have a glimpse of Rafale. That's considered to be 4.5 generation, one of the best aircraft, that is fighter jet, that is available right now with India. They are here, and let me show you. I'll ask my video journalist to pan towards this side. You can see a lot of people already standing on the chair. They want to have a glimpse of Rafale aircraft, because see, over the period of time, there has been a lot of transformation taking place in the country. There is a saying that if you build roads, and finally the roads will help you build country. And that is exactly the transformation what we are seeing here in Uttar Pradesh. There are already 3 expressways. One is about Lucknow-Agra Expressway, then there is Bundelkhand Expressway, then there is Purvanchal Expressway, and now the Ganga Expressway under construction. Let me again show you. I'll ask my video journalist to pan towards this historic moment. And this is the 3.5-kilometer airstrip where finally the fighter jets are today going to touchdown. The best thing about this airstrip is that it has got the night landing facility. And today, in a short while, you will find all those fighter jets will be hovering over Jalalabad sky, which is just in Shahjahanpur area, and that will definitely send shiver down the spine. And why this drill is really very important, because it's happening at a time when already India has decided to avenge Pahalgam massacre, in which 26 of the tourists were killed, and India has made it clear that mitti mein mila ke rakh denge, because Prime Minister made that kind of an assertion. And since then we have seen the slew of measures have been taken. One of them had been to freeze.
Right, Pradeep, I just need to interrupt you for a moment, because we also have Group Captain UK Devnath, retired, joining us right now. Group Captain Devnath, we heard a short while ago about the significance of this particular airstrip, which is also very compatible for night landing, sir. What are the implications of that that we need to keep in mind, and what feature and what does that particular feature add in terms of our assets and in terms of our capabilities, in terms of landing on an airstrip of this nature?
Yes, very, very important and significant development as far as tactical deployment of Air Force goes during war and peace. Basically, Government of India, with the help of NHAI, is planning development of dozens of such highways all across the western border and northern border. what has to be understood that during wartime, these stretches will be utilized for takeoff of fighter aircraft. It must be remembered that during war, all the fighter aircraft cannot be kept concentrated in airport or airfield only. Because in that case, with one single strike, the enemy may wipe out all the fighter aircraft air assets at our airfield. So there is a terminology we use called dispersal. So the air assets, say in any airfield, we may have 24 fighter aircraft, we may have 36 fighter aircraft. So what is done is to disperse them at these locations. They take off from there. Similarly, after a mission, when somebody is returning, suppose the main airfield is damaged. Suppose the main airfield runway is damaged due to enemy air action, then our returning fighter aircraft can utilize these airstrips for landing and recovery. So it is a very, very potentially very, very useful method being developed by Indian Air Force.
And Group Captain Devnath, this is not the first such expressway in the state of Uttar Pradesh. You also have the Agra-Lucknow Expressway, which is in Unnao. You have the Purvanchal Expressway in Sultanpur, and you have the Bundelkhand Expressway near Etawah. Now, all these have managed to actually establish, along with the Ganga Expressway now, emergency alternative runways as well. So UP is actually emerging as a very critical hub for infrastructure with these specific capabilities.
Oh yes, UP slowly is becoming a very important hub for deployment of Indian Air Force assets during wartime. Nothing secret, open source. Suppose there is a skirmish or a war with China, then probably our aircraft will operate from various airfields, Indian Air Force airfields in Uttar Pradesh, and go across and strike targets, enemy targets of People Liberation Army in Tibet. And while coming back from Tibet, again, they will come back and land at one of these runways or one of these NHAI-assisted road stretches. So it is basically a game changer in the sense that we are achieving three purposes. One, if the enemy hits the main airfield, then all our assets, which will be dispersed before that only, will be saved. Second, our aircraft can take off from these airfields, these highway stretches, and enemy will not be able to monitor their movement because these runways are not under the consideration or monitoring by enemy spy systems. Thirdly, while these aircraft, when they are coming back from a mission and in case they are not able to land at main airfield airport, then they land here. So it is a win-win-win situation for Indian Air Force.
Absolutely, a development of enormous significance. Thank you for sharing those insights with us, Group Captain Devnath. Let me go back once again to my colleague Pradeep Datta, who's in Shahjahanpur as we speak. Pradeep, tell us about the sense of anticipation around you. The Rafale, the Mirage, the Jaguar aircraft are all set to land there. How long is this expected to continue? Because this is an airstrip also conducive for night landings. Will we be able to witness some of that today as well?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Because this is a drill is for 2 days, but today, first it will be the daytime landing, and then there will be nighttime landing facility also that will be displayed here and demonstrated during this drill. Let me show you again. See, these are those night landing lights. These are available around the runway. That's a 3.5 kilometer strip here at Ganga Expressway. And these lights will be put on during the night hours so that aircraft doesn't have any kind of a problem. So they have got a night landing facility. But what is more important is that because these are the strips that are away from the normal air bases, the routine air bases. So in case, as one of our panelists was rightly saying, that any of the airstrip gets damaged because of the enemy bombing, that time this alternate airstrip can be used for the emergency purpose. And you can see how things have really changed and transformed during the last few years. You construct roads, you make roads to build country, and finally the roads are going to you're going to build the country, because this is how the things are really going to work. Let me again show you. There's a lot of enthusiasm among people. Everybody is waiting for the fighter aircraft to touch down here at 3.5 kilometer strip of Ganga Expressway. Many of them, you can see, they are climbing on the chair. They just want to have a glimpse. Let me speak to them. कितना जोश है, कितना बड़ा जोश है जो हमारे यहाँ पे बसरामपुरी नगरी में जो एक्सप्रेसवे बन रहा है, बहुत ही जोश है, मुझे बहुत गर्व है।
क्या लगता है कि पाकिस्तान आज कांपेगा ये देख के?
बिल्कुल कांपेगा। ये पूरा जब मीडिया दिखाएगा ना तो पूरा विश्व देखेगा इसको।
भारत की जो बढ़ती हुई ताकत कैसे देख रही है?
बहुत अच्छी ताकत है भारत की, भारत से ऐसा कोई हो ही नहीं सकता है।
किस चीज को ज्यादा देखने आए? रफाल को देखने आए, सुखोई को? क्या ज्यादा देखने आए?
राफेल को
देखने आए। रफाल को देखने आए। क्या लगता है भारत की बढ़ती ताकत को?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है भाई।
You can see there's a lot of enthusiasm among people. They are saying that definitely is going to send shiver down the spine of Pakistan once these Rafale and other fighter jets are going to hover over the Jalalabad sky here. Because this, if you talk about this particular expressway, it's under construction. It's about more than 500 kilometers, and it's going to connect Agra it's going to connect Meerut with Prayagraj. People are saying that normally from Shahjahanpur, it used to take about 8 to 8.5 hours. Once this express highway will be completed, it will take only about 3.5 hours to reach their destination. But what is more important is that airstrips, emergency alternate airstrips that have been carved on these expressways, that is going to be a game changer for the country. Because in case any of the airfields get damaged because of the enemy attack, then these alternate airstrips can be easily used. But what is more important is that on one hand, Pakistan has no money even to fill the potholes of the road. On the other hand, you can see how India is changing. It is not only about Indian Air Force that is much stronger and much better than Pakistan Air Force, but also you can look at the Air Force infrastructure that has been provided. It only demonstrates Bharat's Atmanirbharta. It also demonstrates that how India is well prepared to deal with any kind of a situation, whether it's natural calamity, whether it's disaster, whether it's enemy attack. And this is drill
That's
is
right,
happening. Why
Pradeep.
it's really very important? Because this drill is happening at a time when already India has made it clear that they are going to avenge Pahalgam massacre, and already we have seen that our aerial assets have been properly mobilized and they are ready to go for any kind of kinetic action, because India has said that they will not only be dealing with the terrorists operating on the Jammu and Kashmir, but they are also going after the fountainhead of terrorism in Pakistan, and they are going to decimate and demolish. We have seen this thing happening during Pulwama bombing, how the second surgical strike was carried out by our Air Force, and Pakistan...
Right, Pradeep. So even as India, Pradeep, displays its aerial force right now as we speak, 1,000 kilometers away is where this airstrip is from Pakistan. It's very strategically built. Also, Pradeep, what's important to note here is the fact that this is the country's first airstrip that has both the facility for daytime as well as nighttime landing, and that gives a lot of boost to the Indian Air Force when we talk about the kind of tensions that we are seeing right now, and to counter the kind of challenging situation that the entire country is facing today.
Yes, you're absolutely right. If we talk about this particular drill, because happening at a time when already we have seen that the tension between India and Pakistan is continuing, because India has already made it clear that we are going to launch an attack against the terror-related elements who are often spilling blood of innocent people on this side of the border. So we have people with us, because besides officers, also students have come out to this place. There are teachers also. आपके स्कूल से भी students आए हुए हैं?
हाँ, हमारे रोजी पब्लिक स्कूल कलान से बच्चे आए हुए हैं यहाँ पे, और ये जो सेना का आज हम लोगों ने एक पराक्रम देखा है, हमारे बच्चों ने देखा है, यहाँ पे बैठे हुए काफी बच्चों ने देखा है, और आज ये दिखा दिया गया है हमारे देश की तरफ से कि जो भी सीमा पार से जो लोग सोच रहे हैं हमारे देश के ऊपर कुछ भी तरीके की गलत निगाह से, आज हम उनको बताना चाहते हैं कि इस तरीके की चीजें ये आज नहीं हो रही हैं, ये लगातार होती भी रहेंगी। और आपको मैं ये भी बताना चाहता हूं कि हमारे आज जो बच्चे सीख के जा रहे हैं यहाँ से, ये आगे चल के एक एक बच्चा हमारा फौलादी बनेगा और हमारी सेना के साथ में कदम से कदम मिलाकर आगे बढ़ेगा।
It will not be the Indian Air Force promise at display, but it's all to inspire youngsters also. All the students who have come out to this place, they will also get inspired and motivated so that they can also don uniform. They also join Air Force so that they can also fight for motherland India and see tricolor fluttering. So this is a very important exercise. Let me again ask my video journalist, pan towards this airstrip. There is 3.5-kilometer airstrip. This is going to be a game changer. It's going to be an alternate emergency landing facility that will be available to the people of the country, so that Indian Air Force aircrafts can land here during emergency or during wartime or during any kind of a disaster. And you can see
anytime fighter jets will be hovering over Jalalabad sky. This is something what people are really waiting for. They are waiting to have a glimpse of Rafale, because Rafale is a 4.5 generation aircraft. It can move at a speed of about 1.8 Mach. That means 2,200 kilometers per hour. Not only that, it can engage with a target that falls within the radius of 1,800 kilometers. That means it can easily target Pakistan. The whole of the Pakistan comes under the target of Rafale. Not only that, parts of China also, that is closer to Ladakh, can also be targeted. That way it's really very important. And this drill is happening at a time when already there is a tension mounting between two countries, because Prime Minister has asserted, "Mitti mein mila dunga." And already we have seen that ever since the Prime Minister's assertion has been made, and we have seen how India has taken certain few measures. They have freezed Indus Water Treaty. They have also closed the airspace for Pakistan. That has really made things difficult for them. And Pakistan is jumping in the sky. And let me again show you, we are getting a signal that any time one more aircraft will be hovering over Jalalabad sky. I'll ask my video journalists to keep camera panned towards the sky, and you can see here is another transport aircraft. This time it's another transport aircraft that is flying over the Jalalabad sky. This transport aircraft is normally used to carry heavyweight machinery, and this heavyweight machinery, especially in the high altitude terrain. You can see there's aircraft just hovering over the sky, and all eyes are there up towards the sky, having a glimpse of this transport aircraft, because today all transport aircraft as well as the fighter jet aircraft will be at display. And every time when they hear the sound of aircraft coming, they just cut on their toes and just try to have a glimpse of the aircraft. And let me show you, AN-32, we saw just short while back, AN-32 hovering over the sky, and then there will be Hercules 130. It's again that one aircraft, a transport aircraft that can carry heavy machinery, logistic support, especially to high altitude area. Then there will be Sukhoi, then there will be Mirage 2000, then there will be Rafale aircraft, and then there will be also Jaguar that will be flying. And what we have been told is that initially, as a part of the trip, there will be low fly past. That means they'll be flying low, and then finally, then the next sortie, they'll touch down here, and then there will be night landing also. And see, right now the music is also being played. Let me show you the enthusiasm among the crowd. People are out on cheers. Let me speak to them. कितना जोश है, कितना लग रहा है आपको जब ये हवाई जहाज यहाँ से गुजरते हुए देखते हैं, तो कैसा लगता है आपको?
ये पहली बार उत्तर प्रदेश जनपद शाहजहानपुर में जलालाबाद ये गंगा एक्सप्रेस जो है निकल रहा है। इसमें औद्योगिक क्षेत्र भी लगेंगे और नए बच्चों जो युवा हैं वो आगे बहुत तरक्की करेंगे।
कैसा जोश आता है जब हवाई जहाज की आवाज सुनते हैं?
सर, ये हमारी ग्राम पंचायत में हवाई पट्टी बनी हुई है। ये गंगा एक्सप्रेस वे यहाँ पे जब से बना हुआ है तब से जनता का यहाँ पे बहुत ही जोश और उमंग, जो आज हेलीपैड पे एयर स्ट्राइक पे जो प्लेन्स हमारे एयरफोर्स के उतर रहे हैं, उससे जनता में बहुत ही उत्साह और उमंग है।
Right, Pradeep, so Pradeep, a lot of enthusiasm among the people. Pradeep, I'll come back to you. My colleague Pradeep has been getting us these live visuals from Uttar Pradesh, the Ganga Expressway, where this aerial display of power is currently taking place. Right now, I'm also joined by AK Suri. General AK Suri, this seems to be an extremely strategic kind of display amid the kind of tensions that India and Pakistan are witnessing, but also goes on to show that India is ready for battle. It is displaying its war preparedness. The fact that we have the likes of MiG-29, Rafale, Jaguar, C-130 Hercules, all of these aircraft being present there, showcasing their powers, reflects the kind of preparedness that India stands with today in the kind of situation that we're grappling with.
I totally agree with you. It's a show of force, it's a show of capability, and it's a demonstration wherein, all the aircrafts operating together. That is the crux, because finally, whenever any, aerial action takes place, it's the packaging which makes all the difference. So when all the aircrafts are, flying together, everyone is getting exercised, whether it is the pilots, it is the technicians, engineers, the air traffic control, and what all people are involved, including the civil administration. And the fact that, the Ganga Expressway is being used is also highlighting another capability in our country. That is, the highways today are being made in a way that they can be used as runways too.
Absolutely. General Suri, I absolutely understand when we say that on public fora and in media, we shouldn't be discussing the kind of strategies perhaps our forces will be deploying when they're countering Pakistan. But this kind of symbolism, this kind of aerial display of power clearly sends out a message to Pakistan at the moment, doesn't it?
Yes, the messaging is absolutely loud and clear. And I'm sure people who are, seeing it, they must be getting jitters as to the might of the Indian Air Force and the Indian Defence Forces in general. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Right, General AK Suri, thanks very much for joining us on Times Now and sharing your perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, those visuals coming in from Uttar Pradesh's Ganga Expressway, where the Indian Air Force is showing its power. You can see the power in the skies, whether it's Jaguar, Rafale jets, or MiG-29 and C-130 Hercules, all of them at the moment in Uttar Pradesh displaying the Indian Air Force's power. We'll keep getting you visuals from there in the latest, but right now it's time for a short break. News and updates will continue on Times Now.